We have waited way too long for a proper third film in the Ghostbusters franchise, so with the film releasing this Friday, is this film worth the buzz? Let's bounce on over to the review. Welcome back, film fans. This is Let's Be Real, Brad. Today on the channel, I want to talk about the third installment in the Ghostbusters franchise with Ghostbusters Afterlife. Ghostbusters Afterlife is a supernatural comedy film directed by Jason Reitman, who co-wrote the screenplay with Gil Kenyon. The film stars Carrie Coon, Finn Wolfhard, McKenna Grace, and Paul Rudd. This film is about a single mom and her two kids who arrive in a small town. They begin to discover their connection to the original Ghostbusters and the secret legacy their grandfather left behind. I have been so enthusiastic about watching this movie, considering that I am a massive fan of Ghostbusters, as you can tell by the shirt. In 2019, Jason Reitman had revealed that he had just finished filming Ghostbusters Afterlife and would be releasing the following year. The internet exploded because no one had any idea that this film had finished filming, especially after appalling Ghostbusters remake in 2016. Everything about this film seemed like we were going back to the roots of what made Ghostbusters so essential and meaningful to pop culture. After finally checking out the film last night, I have to say that this was worth the wait. So let's start talking about the positives first, because I have a lot with this one, starting with the performances. McKenna Grace did a fantastic job, as I bought her playing this young, awkward, bright teenager trying to find her place in this world. Her line delivery was excellent, as well as her jokes that I thought were hilarious. Carrie Coon was also pretty good as the mother character, and Paul Rudd continues to provide his charismatic charm and humor every chance he gets. Finn Wolfhard did a solid job as well. Jason Reitman's direction grips this film together by showing how much he cares about this franchise. Being that he is the son of Ivan Reitman, who was a director of the first film, he was able to add this nostalgia feel to the film, which did bother me quite a bit, which we will get into later in the review. He created something different by changing the setting, tone, and characters that felt like a 1980s movie. The visual effects are solid, considering that this is a $75 million film. It is on the lower end of popular science fiction movies released today. I thought all of the ghosts looked very cool and fit the classic cheesy aesthetic of the original films. All the effects looked the best when the proton packs blasted out to catch the ghosts. It looked so epic and electrifying on the big screen. The third act is very CGI heavy, but I think it worked for me quite a bit. This film does constitute quite a handful of negatives here, as this is not a perfect film by any means. For starters, I found the product placement to be very distracting and quite annoying. It featured so intermittently in the film that I was instantly displeased, primarily the whole scene dedicated to Walmart. I know the original film featured product placement, but it never felt as distracting and so in your face as this one. At least the Twinkie joke felt essential to the screenplay and became a cultural icon because of it. I was also not a big fan of the screenplay. I felt that the script was very bare bones, relying on nostalgia and fan service of the original films. As a big Ghostbusters fan that I am, it was delightful to see all of it, with a good portion of it done in the best way possible, making me very emotional. If the script had more meat to the bone and kept me more emotionally attached to the characters, I don't think I would have minded the fan service. But when you rely too much on it to tell its story, then it becomes a problem. The film also hardly has any character development, which I don't mind with the other side characters. Still, the prominent family should have had something, and it doesn't happen in this, which was very disappointing, especially when the film is trying to have an emotional feeling to it. I love that the film takes its time to set up the story and the characters. I felt as though it set up too much without getting into the meat of the story. By the time it gets going, you already know what is going to happen. Finn Wolfhard's character becomes non-existent in a good fraction of the film, film until he appears sometime later. It felt as if the script just forgot about him. Overall, Ghostbusters Afterlife is a pleasant, entertaining, and enjoyable comedy that feels freshly adequate to enjoy with the whole family. The performances are pretty good with great direction and presentation by Reitman that I think this movie is worth checking out at your local cinema if it is safe to do so. It is the second best Ghostbusters movie ever, so that should be saying something. I am giving Ghostbusters Afterlife a 6 out of 10. Be sure to stick around for the mid and post-credit scenes. I think you are going to love it. Thank you guys so much for checking out my review. As I want to know down below in the comments section, is this better than Ghostbusters 2? I would love to hear your thoughts about it. Before you bounce out of the video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, drop a like if you want to, and ring that notification bell so that I can see you all in the following video.